All right. Let's see. That should have updated. And I think we're all in. Okay. You guys let me know if you can hear me okay or if I'm still lagging. Say hey when you come in. Let me know you're here. I'm trying to get my 4 bottles of water down today. I'm not a water drinker, by the way. And welcome to Living the Dream, so Sunday Night Social. Take two. There's Angie. Hey, Angie, did you get your fabric and did you love it? And I think my mom's on here. Mom, if you're still on, say hey. Dottie and Karen should be joining us in a minute. And my son Jordan. I think Seth's on here. It's going to be a family thing. Welcome into Living the Dream Quilt Shop. I'm going to go ahead. I'll have Seth erase that prior video. Hopefully, Sharon Kincaid finds us again. She is doing much better. She is out of the hospital and she is actually went back to my grandma's house today. So she is doing really well, thank God. So tonight we're working on t-shirt quilts, and I'm sorry to all the girls that were here earlier if you're going to listen to the first 2 minutes again, but I want to make sure I'm going to have Seth delete the earlier video that was lagging. And I just want to explain everything really quick for those of you that want to do a t-shirt quilt, but you never have. Um, there's only a few basic things you need, and the first is, of course, t-shirts. The second, and I'm going to turn the other camera on to show you this one. The second one is your stabilizer. And this is Pellon 101. It is very inexpensive. It's like somewhere around right here. And I don't remember it going up that high. I will check the price on that. It's a couple dollars a yard. And it works really, really great to stabilize the back of your t-shirts because um, t-shirts are very stretchy. So let me show you on this t-shirt here. If you can see here, see how much pull that has? When you're trying to quilt, you don't want that stretchiness because what happens is you're trying to hold the fabric in place, and cotton doesn't stretch like that except on the bias. So as you're sewing, you don't want that bulking up or stretching because when you let it go, it's going to cramp up and then you're going to have puckers in your quilt. Stabilizer will keep it very stable for you. It's iron on. It has a very slick side. Let me go back to this. It has a very slick side, and then it has a side that has bumps on it, and that's the glue. So when you cut it and put it on the back of your t-shirt, that stabilizes it and keeps it from stretching. And especially on a long arm. When we put your quilt on the long arm, or if you hand quilt and you roll it on the rails, that's going to stretch it too. So stabilizer is very, very important when you're doing a t-shirt quilt. Um, the other two things that are really good to have is a very good pair of scissors. I use two different pairs when I'm doing t-shirt quilts. Both of them are very sharp. And the first one is when you cut a t-shirt quilt, like this one right here, I'm going to cut uh, down, I'm going to cut the arms off. I'm going to cut right across the top so I'm missing the collar. You don't want that big seam in your t-shirt quilt. But I do want to catch the top of this mark here. So I'm going to cut it really close to get that 1/4 inch. I might still take a little bit of that check mark out, especially when I square up the t-shirt. But I want to get as much of their t-shirt in the actual quilt as I can. So I'm going to cut right across the top seam and cut the bottom seam off. I don't cut, you don't want to cut the size you need the square to be until you cut out the outside, put your stabilizer on, then cut it to the size you need to be. If you're trying to get stabilizer right on a little square you've already cut out, it is so much harder to do. So get in, and you'll see here in a few minutes how I cut these out, how I stabilize it. But you don't want to cut it to size until you have the stabilizer applied. And there's several different ones. I've tried several of them. The Pellon seems to work the best. It holds better. A lot of those stabilizers will stick when you iron them on, but then as you pile your t-shirts up and sew them together, it starts letting go. And even if you try to re-iron it, it doesn't stick as well. The Pellon 101 might be a little bit more expensive than some of the others, but if you want your quilt to really hold up, it is the best to use that I found. All right, and the other thing you really need, other than a sewing machine and thread, is a good square up ruler. And this is my favorite one. This is the Stripology XL. It has a half-inch strip for every half inch, and it goes up to 20 inches. Um, I have to turn it sideways for my taller t-shirts to get the top and bottom, but that's okay. I can see the t-shirt through it, and it doesn't slide. That is one big deal when you're doing a t-shirt quilt. Your rulers want to slide across the top. But this one, the weight of it keeps it down and keeps it from sliding. Now, something else that I use a lot is this big square up roller. Because a lot of times, like this t-shirt, the length of it is 18 inches. So I need a really big ruler that will hold up to that and give me uh, the size I need so I can square it up between those inches. So that's another important thing to have. And let me mention one other item. This is called Grippy. This is fantastic spray. And as you can see from my ruler, it looks a little foggy. The reason it looks foggy is I sprayed Grippy on it. When you have a ruler like this, it'll slide very easy across cotton, across t-shirts. You don't want your ruler to slide while you're cutting your t-shirts, especially if you're doing it for a customer. So I always spray my rulers with this grippy spray, and we sell it in the shop. We have shipping online. All it takes, and I'll show you right here, because I would definitely want to have it done before I cut this t-shirt. All it takes is 3 or 4 little sprays across the bottom. Wave it 3 times in the air. It's dry, but it will not slide on those t-shirts. You can also use grippy dots or any kind of dots that different quilt shops sell for making your rulers where they won't slide. But so far, grippy is the best. And you can, if you want to clean it off, ODIF DK5 cleaner sold at Walmart will wipe it straight off. But I can tell you at the cutting table in my shop, we have sprayed that ruler in the last 4 years probably 20 times. It only takes a little bit and it lasts a couple months. Um, I still have right about here on this can, and I've been using this for like 3 years. So it doesn't take a lot on your rulers. I've never had to clean it off, even though that looks foggy. When you lay it on your fabric, you don't see any of that fog at all. I can see the fabric straight through it. So it's a great item to use. Anybody have any questions so far? Because I'm going to start cutting t-shirts. And if you're new here, say hey when you come in. Let me see, I'm getting a couple of texts here. Did Seth just send this? I think it's going wonky again. You guys hang right on. I'm going to be right back so we can get this fixed for you. Still doing it? I did. I did. Wow, it was doing great. I mean, it went up really high. Wow. Let's see. Damn it. All right, Seth. Let me know if you guys can hear me and if everything's doing okay. We're having some technical difficulties here. And as I do these t-shirts, if you guys didn't catch it in the beginning of the video, I'm not sure if we're going to do this over again or what we're going to do here. Can you hear me okay now, Dottie? Everybody can hear me okay. Let's see. Much better? Okay. Good deal. Um, I'm not there we go with the chat. Good deal. I love you, Dottie. Thank you. So I don't know how much the beginning of that video showed you guys. And while we're on here, Seth, do you think I should start over? Was it clear what I was explaining? I don't want people watching later and trying to figure out if it was monitoring and saving the live stream chat. Okay, Seth has a bot that is running his RV. I think we're going to have Seth come set up all our households. He was talking to the bot and it came up in the chat. So, who all's on here? Say hey if you're on here. Let me know you're here. I think we're up and running now. I'm going to switch this over. Earlier in the video, I went over everything you need for your t shirt quilt. As I go, I'm going to do like one or two t shirts, cut them out. Then I'm going to show you how to put the stabilizer on, how I square it up. So that way you guys can see a little bit of the process. So you can sew your own t shirt together to make a quilt. Yeah, yeah. So if you guys are having any problems with the video or the sound, let us know so we can try to adjust that. I don't know if it's the weather or what's going on with the internet tonight, but come on in. Let us know you're here and let us know where you're from. First off, I need to say a big thank you. We hit woohoo 100 subscribers today. So thank you all so much for that. Yeah, there you go. Dottie's got it. So thank you all so much. If you're not subscribed and you love to sew, hit that subscribe button. We have more tutorials coming up, more live streams. If you like live fabric sales, we've got those coming up too. Every Thursday night on Facebook and YouTube. YouTube is a little bit better because you get to put it on your television and sit back and relax. But join us on either one of those places and make sure you hit that notify button so you know when we're live. Also, if you want to do a quilt along Wednesday evening, we start our first week of the weekly block of the month for beginners. We've got a lot of seasoned sewers that's going to sew along with us. It's going to be loads of fun. And my big dream is to have somebody from every country we can get doing this sew along with us. Totally free. We're going to hang out, we're going to chat, and I'm going to show you how to do the block of the week while we're live. So that'll be a lot of fun. Yes, last Thursday night's live was wild. We have never had a night like that. So that was a lot of fun. And for all of you that joined in, thank you. I'm going to switch over to this other camera so you can still see me in the corner, but as I said earlier, if you didn't catch it, so I'm going to cut the entire front of the t-shirt quilt out. And I'm going to make sure, like right here, that I cut right at the seam on the t-shirt quilt, right above here, because I've got this little check mark coming up here. I want to get as much of that into the t-shirt as I can, but we're going to have that 1/4 inch seam, and we need to get the stabilizer on there. So you've got to have room for your stabilizer and to make sure it's not puckered or anything. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I always use my bigger pair of scissors to do this one. Very sharp. It's hard to get through these sometimes, these double seams. But I'm going to cut out the whole front, cutting the arms off. There's nothing on the back of this one, so I'm not going to worry about the back. The customer doesn't want the backs that are just plain. And I cut all the way over to the middle of the collar. Instead of cutting straight across here, it's hard to cut exactly straight. So I cut way up here and then down along this seam so I don't do a bad cut and then have to go even shorter on the t-shirt. And luckily, my customer labeled these for me. He put them in the order he wants them sewn on the quilt. A lot of times, customers will just give you the placement, but sometimes they like to have them placed as they like. Make sure I go all the way over to this side to give me plenty of room between the wording and the uh, where I'm cutting it. Get my scissors in there. There we go. I'm not used to cutting on screen, so I keep looking over to see where my screen is so you guys can see that too. And I'm not even going to worry about cutting the bottom seam off because the lettering is nowhere near that. So I know that I'm not going to be using part of this um, in the quilt. So I just leave that on. Once I get the stabilizer on here, I'll be cutting most of this off because this is definitely big enough for the quilt. And then I'm just going to fold the other side up, put it away. Okay, now this t-shirt, let me show you this one. This is number two. It doesn't have anything on the back, and it just has about 6 to 8 inches on the front that we're going to use. Now, you can think about it two ways. You might want to use it as a bigger block. You might want to use it as just a small 12 inches. Now, keep in mind, on our other one, we have 18 inches here to use. So here I've got 18. Here I've got possibly 8. Um, I've got enough room up here that if I was to make a perfect square, I could possibly get it to 12. But when you've got a little room at the top and a lot of room at the bottom, sometimes it looks awkward on your t-shirt quilt. So what I like to do if I have enough t-shirts is do a couple up and down to put it beside the bigger block. So I can do like a 20-inch block and two 10 inches beside of it. But it all depends on what you have. I might have, there's 30 t-shirts here. I might have 29 huge ones and just one little one. So when I always put all the stabilizers on and then I lay them out so I can see what I have to work with and where I can fit it in, kind of like doing a puzzle. So that's the way I like to do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and let me go ahead and show you how to put the stabilizer on, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut t-shirts for a while and hang out with you guys. Let's see if we have any questions. Thanks, Dottie. I'll take it. Thank you, Regina. How are you tonight? Seth, it says, here's the link. There's no link. Yeah, I just did another t-shirt quilt that had some huge t-shirts in it. Let me show you that one. I'm glad you mentioned that, Dottie. Hang on. So this is the hardest t-shirt quilt I've ever done. It had some huge t-shirts in it. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Let's see. Stand back so you guys can see this. So here's this t-shirt quilt I done. I've locked it all in because I had these huge t-shirts, little t-shirts. We had some of everything in this quilt. You guys see all that? We had some really big t-shirts in here. So we had to match them up. This was the hard. And that one's going to be ready for the long arm as soon as the customer comes and gives me a backing. It is a California King. There's Sharon. Sharon found us. How are you, Sharon? I can't believe Seth has a bot that is doing that. Okay, so let me get this other t-shirt cut out. I'm going to do the exact same thing, even though oh, let me go back to the other camera. Even though I know I am only using this much, or maybe this much, I am still going to cut the entire outside of the front until I get all the t-shirts laid out to see how many I have, make sure it's going to make sure it's going to be the size the customer wants, and we're going to put some different sashing in it also. But I need to see before I start cutting what size do I need to make this. So that's why I like to get all the t-shirts cut out, then put the stabilizer on the back of them, lay them out, and see what I'm going to be cutting. So let's get this one cut out, and then I'm going to go ahead and stabilize the first one just to show you how I stabilize before I cut out these other 29 t-shirts. And if anybody has any questions, there's Diane from Georgia. Diane, do you have snow? And how's Barbara doing? Give us an update on Barbara, please. We have been praying, and I put Barbara on our church prayer list to say a prayer for her. I hope she's feeling better. And I hope you're doing all right, sweetheart. And I hope you didn't get a lot of snow. Yeah, that t shirt quilt is going to be heavy. California King, that's the biggest one I've ever done for a customer. Well, biggest one, period. And what are you girls working on tonight? I love to hear what everybody else is doing. Don't make me feel alone down here in my dungeon. Yes, Seth, I wish, well, I'd have a lot of t shirts to do. If I would have known this when you guys were younger, I would have done this. All of my sons, I have 6 boys, all of them were involved in sports and band, and there were so many t shirts I wish I would have saved to do t shirt quilts to preserve those memories. All of them went to states. Track, cross country, football, soccer, wrestling, band, 5 of them doing that all at the same time. Life was a little bit crazy in our household. All right, and we've got this second one cut out. See, I have left the entire t-shirt until I figure out exactly how much of this I'm going to need. And you do not want to cut it to size until the stabilizer is on it. Don't forget that. It is so very important. It is so hard to cut it to size and then get a stabilizer on it right. It'll pucker at the edges. You won't be able to get it. So it's so much easier once the stabilizer is past your points you need to cut it on to get it cut right. All right, so that is t-shirt number 2. And I will, let me see, stabilizer. I'm going to put it on this other camera over here. Oh, Sharon, you need mom. Mom's good with the sergers. Sharon, my biggest hack is the Pelon 101. This is the best stabilizer to use for those t-shirts, and not to cut it to size until you have the stabilizer on and then cut it to size. That is the best hacks I have. I'm going to switch this over here. Oh yeah, it's like below zero here with the wind chill, Diane. It is literally freezing. I have two heaters in my little dungeon, so I can keep this place heated up. So is that? Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can get this cutting table working. The camera's not working over here. Let's see. You guys hang on just a second. Let me see if I can get this cutting table on. Okay. All right, we're going to go back over here and I'm just going to flip this one around so you guys can see what I'm doing. So here. And you guys close your eyes. I don't want to make you dizzy. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to lay this t-shirt out on my ironing board or whatever you have to lay it out on. And it's going to go a little bit over the side, but that's okay. Let me get the scissors. So now I'm going to lay my stabilizer where it's just right at the edge of where I'd cut that t-shirt. Now bear in mind, I did not cut the t-shirt down to the size I want it to be yet. I will do that later. Now I'm going to make sure that I come over here far enough to hit the other side of the t-shirt. And that is right about there. And you can always set it upside down because a lot of times you don't want to iron over that. It'll stick unless you've got a Teflon sheet. You can lay it over that and iron, but you don't want to put an iron on this. Your iron will stick to it and tear your customer's t-shirt up. So I always place it upside down and I run my iron over it to make sure it's nice and wrinkle free. I'm going to pull this up so we can get the whole t-shirt. Here, can you guys see this? Right here, I can see the t-shirt through it, and I know that's where the edge of the wording is. So I've got about an inch and a half above it, to the side of it actually, that I can still use. So I am good there because that's where it ends up here. So you have to watch where your t-shirt, where the sleeves curve in, to make sure you don't want to use stabilizer up here. You know you're not going to be able to use this piece. So I'm just pressing the stabilizer on. You don't want to go off of the t-shirt on the stabilizer with your iron or it'll stick to your ironing board. And you also don't want to iron with the stabilizer down, because if your iron hits it, it will glue right to your iron. Like over here, I've got a piece that's going off of where the curve is for the sleeve. I'm making sure not to iron that. I don't want to press it to my ironing board. Make sure I've got the edges down really good. I don't want this coming up while it's stacked up to be cut. All right. And there we've got our first t-shirt done. Um, and right here, I don't know if you guys would be able to see it from the other side, but the stabilizer is ending right there at the bottom of this red. And I don't want to cut up above there or cut right on it, because my 1/4 inch seam will go up on the lettering. So I'm going to add a small piece along the bottom, about an inch long, maybe 2 inches. And it's no problem to add that. You're not going to see it in the finished product. So I'm just going to lay this. Can you still see me? Oh, move the iron out of the way. I'm just going to lay this right along the bottom, so I can see that I've got plenty of room. I've got this much room between the bottom of the lettering and where I can cut. So now it goes well below my lettering, if you guys can see that. And it's nice and stable. It even feels a little bit thicker. I really like the way the Pellon works. So there we have our first t-shirt stabilized. And once we get all the t-shirts cut, we will, and see how, or once we get all the t-shirts cut out around the outsides and stabilized, we'll lay them out and see what size we need to make them to make this quilt fit together. So let me see if I have any questions. And the things you see from Seth are, he's telling his bot what to do with our video, which is really interesting. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Diane, I am so sorry. That poor girl. Doggone it. Dottie, you know what we need to do? We need to get a card for everybody to sign at the shop and send it to her. Diane, send me Barbara's address, and we'll all sign a card and send her a little care package. Okay, so you girls ready to watch me cut some more t-shirts? I'm going to turn the camera around slowly, and we will cut some more t-shirts out. So I'm going to put these in a pile for the ones we need to do. And we will start cutting t-shirts. All right, did anybody tell me what they're working on? Let me see. Sharon did one. Okay, I read that one. And if you're new here, say hey when you come in. We always love to have new people. Let us know if you've ever done a t-shirt quilt. How many people out there have done a t-shirt quilt? And did you use Pellon? Now we've got some shirts that aren't as wide. So that's another thing you need to consider. That's why I wait until I've got everything cut out. You always, the best t-shirt quilt to do is a square one where you can do all the same squares. If you look at the picture that I posted with this sew along or social, I did that t-shirt quilt. It was an Alan Jackson t-shirt quilt. I had an Alan Jackson fan. The t-shirts, there was a bunch that I could make the same size and some that I couldn't. So I did a whole separate section with the ones I couldn't fit in and did sashing of different sizes around it, and it came out beautiful. But the squares that I could get the same size, we put below it like in a separate section. It's always nice to have a quilt with the t-shirts where you can get them in like a 12-inch block or 14 or a 10. But a lot of times you can't do that. So I just kind of put them together like a puzzle. And if you put sashing around it, it makes a world of difference. And if anybody has any questions, just let me know. There's Mom. Mom is in the chat. So everybody say hey to Mom. She went back to Grandma's today. And she's doing a lot better. Ought to have her here cutting out all these t-shirts. And you know, after a while, it kind of hurts your hand to cut out all these t-shirts. One of those doggone, what do they call those? Earwigs. And if you're new here, and you like sewing tutorials and sewing along with people and chatting, live fabric sales, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube or follow us on Facebook. Hit the notify button on YouTube and you'll be notified every time we go live. Make sure you check out our a video we made on Thursday. Every Wednesday we are doing a weekly block of the month. It's for beginners, but we've got a lot of advanced sewers that are doing it with us. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And there's a picture of the quilt we're doing on there. So join us for that, totally free. And if you go back to the video on Thursday, it tells you everything you need. And it's all the most basic of sewing supplies. And we would like to get people from all the different countries in with us to join this sew along. And like I said, the backs, they don't have anything on them, but I'm saving them all um, in case you need a filler. Sometimes you might need a filler. So you can tell by their t-shirts what their interests are. So like say you have 19 and you need a 20th block. You can always do like an embroidery or an applique design of something they like to do. Or you can do like a block that has something written on it that the people would like to say that they're giving it to, like love mom and dad or love grandma. So I always save the backs in case I need to go back and get a filler. And like this one has this on the front, which is just a smaller uh, tag. And then on the back, we've got something really big. So I'm going to cut both sides of the t-shirt out. On this side, when I do the stabilizer, I'm going to do it about 8 by 8. And then I can cut it down to where I want it later on when I see where I'm going to place it on the quilt and what I actually want to do with it. Um, Sometimes you put it on with the actual block that you're doing, just applique it on. But sometimes it looks better in a different place. It kind of brings it out. So I'll cut both sides of this out and cut it down later for before I stabilize it. Well, I'll put the stabilizer on it and then cut it down to about 8 by 8. Seth programmed his bot with an attitude. Seth, did you say that or did your bot say that? Mom, I think you've got a robot talking to you. Oh, and if you're cutting near your machine, don't get the t-shirt caught in the needle. So, Karen, how much did you guys get down there? What's the weather like? Let us know what it's doing in Alabama. I see Florida got snow. Poor Diane's in the cold weather. I think North Carolina got it a little bit. And if you guys just heard those scissors snap, like I said, when you're getting near the seams and the collars, make sure you've got a nice sharp pair of scissors. It's sometimes really hard to get through. And these here are really nice. They're titanium scissors. It was really surprising to me because you get 3 pair. This pair, a medium, and a small pair for like $20. And they're very sharp. So I was really proud of these because normally, like, I don't know where I set my others, but my Karen K. Buckley's were 25s for 1 pair. But I do like them better. But these are very nice to have and very useful. They will cut quilts off of the long arm with the batting and the backing on them, just like butter. But there are others that are sharper and do a better, smoother cut. But these are very good. Okay, so I'm going to say both sides of this. I'm actually going to fold this one up together. I don't want to lose that number 3, so I know where he wants it placed. See, he's marked all of his t-shirts for me. And this is a gift for his wife, so very nice of him. I like guys that give gifts. Your bot is asking you who is sick. Wow. Wow, that is insane. So now the bot's talking about the CM17 in front of me. The computers are going to take over the world. So now we've got one. Apparently, she went to Clay County High School. Now we've got another big one that looks a little bit wider than that t-shirt we cut before. Maybe not as long, but no back to this one. So we're just going to cut the front out and save the back for later in case we need it. And if anybody gets on and has questions, make sure to ask them. And if I miss the question, somebody grab my attention and repeat it. I can't believe how quiet you guys are being tonight. Thursday night, you guys weren't this quiet. What is going on out there? Is everybody tired of the weather? And for those of you that missed it, let me finish cutting it out and I'll hold this up better where you can see it. Is anybody else sewing tonight? Am I the only one sewing on the Sunday night social? Far in my favor. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell where the side is, but I've got plenty of room here. Alright, let me fold this back up and put it away, and then I'll show you guys what I was talking about. Okay. So if you missed this before, or if you didn't quite understand what I was saying, lay that out where you can see it better. Okay, see how I've cut around the collar here, and I cut way up here. Of course, we're going to have to square it off here. But like I told you before, I want my stabilizer on here before I cut it down to size. Um, and the reason that I cut so far up here, the very first quilt I was doing, um, I was just trying to cut straight across to the collar. But what you tend to do when you do that is you tend to angle it or angle it down. And sometimes you can't get a straight square when you go to square it up because you've either angled down or angled up, and now you have to cut it straight across here, and you're too close to your lettering. So I cut it clear up to the top edges of the collar, even though I know I'm going to cut this off later. I want to do that after the stabilizer's on, so I know I haven't made bad cuts right here that's going to cause me to go even lower. So does that make sense to everybody? Oh, Diane's loading a quilt on the long arm. Yes, you need batting scissors, Dottie. Yes, always. I've got a pair. I can't remember what they're called that we were selling in the shop. Those purple ones. It works really good. I mean, these titanium ones will work in a pinch, but those purple ones, they smooth as butter. All right, this one says number 4 back. Now we've got this on the front. Let's see what the back says. And see, the back is just these two words, airhead. So we don't want to make a big 18-inch block like the first t-shirt. With this one, we're going to want to make this one smaller too. Um, and the biggest I would probably make this is about 8 by 8. Um, I'm going to go ahead and save this too just in case. Some people like to have what the shirt's about in their shirt. So I'm going to cut this front and back and then put them together until I do the shirt. Now, notice on here, we're not going to be able to make this real wide because look where, if you can see where this seam comes down here, that you can't use this. It's too thick over here. So I'm going to have to cut as close as I can to that seam to get this piece out. And there's just nothing you can do about that. So let's see. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm just going to do the front and back, and then we'll see if we even need it before we decide what to do with that. What I do with my scissors, up there they are. I already lost the scissors, girls. Oh yeah, Dottie was telling me about loading that one. And she had Terry helping. What was the problem with that one, Dottie? Quilters want to know. Okay, so I'm going to cut up the side of this arm here. And I don't know if the video was messing up before or not, but we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube the other day. So thank you for all of you that have subscribed, and it really helps small businesses out. Um, the subscribe button means everything because the more subscribers you get, the more people they will send out to tune in with you, and it just builds your business so well. So thank you all for that, all of you that have subscribed. And I'm going to have to cut down through here. So I may not be able to use this, but I might. I'm going to go ahead and cut way down here. So I've cut all of it out that I can. And I know I'm not going to make it any bigger than that. But see, this is what I was talking about. Look how stretchy. That is very stretchy. So I'm going to put the stabilizer on this and see how the t-shirts like to turn in on the sides. It's really hard when you're stabilizing to get the stabilizer as close as you can to the edge without going over the edge, because remember, you don't want it either sticking to your iron or sticking to the ironing board itself. But if we need to use this, he didn't put it on there to use, but he might want it, and we could just put the stabilizer on it, and we could like applique that on or sew it on somewhere really easily. So we will keep that with this t-shirt just in case. And I'm going to switch this 4 over to the back so it doesn't lose its place on where they wanted it placed. And let me find where this seam is. And if I have any retreaters out there, we have a retreat coming up in Millersburg, Ohio, March the 18th to the 22nd. So if you like having a good time and like playing games, winning prizes, hanging out with a bunch of fun quilters, Millersburg, Ohio is one of the best places to hold a retreat. There's 33 quilt shops in the area and the most delicious food ever. It's Amish country. The Amish make a meal, let me assure you. And there's a great Mexican restaurant right beside the hotel. There's a restaurant in the hotel. There's a continental breakfast, and we're going to try to beef that up a little bit this year. It is it is really basic, but we're going to try to beef it up and do a little bit more for breakfast. And we do have the first night we're there. We do have last year we did a hot dog social. This year it's going to be Hawaiian themed, so we're going to do something with that idea. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you want to join us, just go to livingthedreamquiltshop.com and type in retreat in the search bar. You can get a double room or a single room. Um, your room and all the sewing and setup and everything is included, and the one meal and the continental breakfast. We also have refrigerators there. People bring food. Wendy and Wendy and Mary brought a tray of meat and cheese from Wisconsin last year that was to die for, and we ate on it for 3 days. Um, People like to bring a covered dish with them and let everybody try it, different desserts. So you don't even really have to go out to eat because we ate the whole time we were there. It's a lot of fun. So if you're a retreater, even if you've never been on a retreat, come and join us. Really inexpensive for 5 days and 4 nights, and we have a blast. And is it Wednesday, Thursday? Yeah, 4 nights. Yeah, Diane, I always like to load my quilts. Like if I finish one at night, I try to load the second one that night. So when I come downstairs, it's all ready for me. It just seems hard when you come down and you got to load it first. So I always try to have one loaded, and that way I can just go to work, and I seem to have more energy that way. It's kind of a pain after you finish one, especially if it's late at night. But it's so much easier to come down to a loaded one. Seems like, oh, let me turn that light on. Maybe that'll help. Just seems like I don't have a lot of light tonight. Karen Bush, you still in here? What are you working on tonight? I didn't see you say. I can't believe it's already 8:19. Are you kidding me? Oh, and another thing I figured out about YouTube this week. So, like now, we're doing this live, and you'll see the chat over here. When we go off the air, the chat waits a day to come back up. And then you have comments, post comments. So if somebody is to post on the live stream after we're off the air, it comes up under posts. And you can, excuse me, you can double click on the posts, on the comments, and it'll say live chat to the side. So you can switch over and see the comments that were made during the live. I wish it was all together like Facebook, but it's not. So that's just a YouTube tip. And Seth, I don't know why that black is doing that. That is so odd. Why is it so dark there? It's not usually that dark when I'm sewing. Let me see if I can do something here. Um, I know Seth's over there screaming, "What are you doing to the cameras?" I'll get it, Seth. Let me see. Oh, right. There, that might have got rid of it. How's that, everybody? Is that better? Somebody should have brought that up. Now we don't have a black line on us. Let me see. There we go. Much better. No black line. All right, now we got another double slugger on the back. Okay, so we'll cut both sides of this one out. So, who all on the live chat is going to join in on the block of the week? Are any of you guys doing it with us? I can't wait for that to start. It starts Wednesday. Angie's still on here. I know her and Marie are doing it. We've got like 19 from the quilt shop that are going to do it. You don't have to sign up. All you got to do is come on and watch. So we're hoping we can get from people from all over the United States, all over the world, joining in together just to sew and have a good time and learn different blocks. We've got 12 different blocks. It'll last 13 weeks. It's actually a course for beginners, but there's a lot of harder blocks to do. They're not real hard. They look hard. They're very easy. So I'm really excited to get people into sewing that have never sewed before. And if you're an experienced sewer and you want to join in with us, you can feel free to comment if somebody's asking a question. Let us know what your technique is. But we're going to be using the most basic of all the quilt blocks, basic tools to do them with so people can see. When I first started out, I thought I can't afford all those rulers and all of those different instruments, and we're not doing that. You don't need that. Just a sewing machine and some basic tools, and we will have you making a beautiful quilt. Oh. Sharon, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you had gotten so much. I kept thinking people were beating you out, but you did get a good bit of it. Good job, girlfriend. That's why I was so happy you got the one at the end. But you did beat them a few times. So you must have been typing fast. And Dottie, I got to compete with Survivor. I got to up my game. That'll be hard competing with Survivor. I should have picked a different night. But I'll be going on at like 4 or 5 o'clock, so I'll be on before Survivor is. So I did beat him a little bit, right? All right, we got another one that says back, but I hate not to include that. Look how pretty that is. Oh, and that's got all their names on it. Okay, so I'm going to save both. We'll see what we can do to find a way to use both of these. Yes, card trick. I'm saving card trick for the very last week so they can get those half square triangles down. Um, I messed up mine. I had the colors laid out, but the way I sewed the half square triangles together was backwards. So I had to rip a few things out, but since that's the trickiest, I'm saving that for the last week. But it turned out beautiful. I love it. I wish this was more like Zoom so I could hear you girls talking instead of texting. That would be more fun. Seth, can that bot of yours turn this into like Zoom? Hey, Dottie, the bot is talking to you. Oh my God. So on my phone calls with Seth, I can hear the bot telling him things. It's kind of creepy. I think Seth has become like Bill Gates now. And I'm kind of afraid for him because it's running things in the RV. Seth, tell him what all this guy does, or maybe he can tell us. He might be taking over the world. All right, now I'm going to cut the arms and the collar off this one because I think this is too pretty not to do something with. Carpal tunnel's starting to kick in from all this cutting. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, that was too pretty to cut out. I don't know if you guys can see that color on there, but I really like that. It's kind of scary. I'm going to add it up tomorrow, Sharon. I think we've got like 12 or 14 spots left that are open. Um, so we've got around, let's see, it'll fit 40. So we've got around 26 to 28 going so far. Are you going to join us? I would love that. And you stay right there. The hotel is it was built in, I want to say 1847. Let me look that up. I can tell you. Everything in it, they have old handmade quilts hanging all over and antiques. It's not even, you don't even feel like you're in a motel. It's so nice. The history is just unreal. The beds are antique. The furniture is antique. The pictures, it's just so elegant, so lovely. 1847. And we have three huge quilting rooms. Last year, we were mainly in one. Karen Bush and Karen Warwick and Sandy eventually moved over to the second one. Two big refrigerators in them, a place where we could spread out food and eat all the time. Um, so it's right downstairs and it has an elevator in it. So it is really, really great. Um, I was going to tell you something else. Oh, and the third room we used as a party room last year. We did our last night of show and tell and games in there, but it was so much fun. And lots of giveaways, lots of prizes, and lots of shopping and quilt shops and restaurant trips. So we had a blast. All right, this one, what do we have written on this one? 9A, Senior Week. Now look at this. Look how wide. That one, oh, that's wide. I don't know if you guys can see all of that. Let me spread it out here on the machine. This one is really wide. Uh, whew. Yeah, I'll get it fit in, but this one's going to be hard. Definitely got to get her senior week in there. This one's going to be another puzzle one that I put together. Little ones around here, big ones in the middle, but it'll make her a very special quilt. Oh, my hand's starting to hurt. Oh, that would be great. Also, you guys do a chat while it's going on. Wow. Yeah. Oh, Dottie, that's what you were talking about where you guys bet on it too, right? And Cecil is calling. You have just joined our Sunday night social. What are you doing, honey? Oh, wondering what you're doing. I am cutting t-shirts and talking to my people. I am almost finished and I will head Kenyon up to you. You got it or not? No, me and Kenyon had pizza last night, so we'll pick something up.
All right. Well, let me know.
All right, I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. So Kenyon, my 16-year-old son, decided last year he wanted to move to Philip Barber. They had the greatest band director there ever. All five of my boys had him. So, and the band director wanted him there. So he texted me in July and said, band starts tomorrow. Am I getting your sixth boy? Because he had all the others. So we had to pack Kenyon up in 2 hours and take him. He moved in with my boyfriend Cecil so he could join Victor Appalucci at Philip Barber High School. So Kenyon is with me for the weekend because I missed my baby. I tried to get him to come down here and meet you guys tonight, and he wouldn't do it. But a lot of you already know him anyway. So I've got to run him over to Cecil's for school tomorrow and pick up something for dinner. You guys have probably already eaten dinner, haven't you? Maybe not Seth. He's an hour behind. Kind of sweet, right? I'm just one in O's, but I can still hang out in the chat. What is the bot's name, Seth? I know he's got a name for him that he says when he's talking to him. All right. And this one, since it's so huge, and I know I'm just going to use part of this, I'm just going to cut a huge swath around it because I know I'm just applicating that name somewhere. But I want you guys to see how big around I cut it so I can get that stabilizer on it. And then I'll probably cut something like a diamond shape or just a small rectangle around it. But I cut big enough so I've got room to put the stabilizer on and be able to see where I'm going to use it in the quilt before I decide exactly how big or small I'm going to cut that square. So always when you've got something small you're dealing with on the t-shirt quilt, first cut it out big enough to get that stabilizer on, and then you can lay the pieces out and decide where to put them. All right, and I don't think, well, let's see. Yeah, that's the rest of the front. We don't need that. And we don't need that. I can, the sleeves I just throw away unless sometimes there's like a tag on the sleeves that I might keep. But if there isn't anything on them, I usually just throw them away. We're not going to use it for like an extra block or anything. And then put this one on the pile. Okay, so let me switch over here. See, I love you, Miss Sharon. You have a great night, honey. So I'm going to sign off for tonight too. I'm going to run upstairs, pack a bag, go spend the night with my son and boyfriend. And you all have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you're on after the live is over and you have any questions or you just want to drop in and say, hey, just drop us a note in the comments. You can also click over to the live chat after 24 hours. So we're on Sunday night. Monday night, you'll be able to double click on the comments and switch over to the live chat. Or if you're on your mobile phone, you can slide it and you can see the entire chat from tonight. So if you like us, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and hit the bell for notify. Follow us on Facebook. Thanks for helping me live my dream, and I hope you're all living yours. I will see you all in just a couple days for our newest block of the week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Look for the prior video on the block of the week to get the tools you need and the material, and join us for a lot of fun. I will see you all later.